He's got a Force of Will. He obviously has a blue card to remove. He also has a copy of Flusterstorm, which you can see. And he's got an Emrakul to put on the battlefield. The problem here is that he is missing mana. So if he's able to draw a 2-mana land, and he has 3 Ancient Tomb and 2 City of Traders, he'll be good to go in more ways than one. Can play around Daze, can play around some other various counter magic, and have some counter magic of his own to be able to interact with. Gristlebrand will remove via Deathrite Shaman, so Kevin's going to go up to 22. And we know Kevin has a copy of Hymn to Tourach in his hand, but he's not able to play it, unfortunately.
I don't mind him. So he used his Deathrite Shaman earlier, eating the one land in a graveyard that was available to him in order to deploy that Delver as soon as possible. And I kind of like that line, but at this point, with him being, quote, set up, you know, he has what he wants on the board, I would have really liked to see him cast the Abrupt Decay on this Lotus Petal.
Just get that taken care of.
I mean, it's so obvious that Patrick's not sandbagging lands when he's discarding during his end step.
True.
And that 1 mana is going to be huge when this game progresses. So don't leave yourself exposed to it. And what else are you going to use this Abrupt Decay on in this game? That's
true. This is a matchup where Abrupt Decay is not particularly good. You know, you would think, you know, does Kevin know what he's playing against? I don't know. He's a Legacy player on the team. I think he's probably got some thoughts on the format. He's probably pretty well versed in the format if he's the one playing Legacy for the team. So, you know, what decks play Lotus Petal, you know, Preordain, which is a big giveaway, Ponder, and obviously the discarding Gristlebrand. It's really only one deck.
Yeah. He knows exactly what's going on here. Initially, he might not have been 100% sure. A Petal, a Fetch Land, a Basic Island, a Preordain. It could be Storm.
Yep, it could be.
But as soon as that Gristlebrand hits the graveyard,
time to shift gears.
Only Sneak and Show.
Yep. Sullivan picked up a City of Traders off of the shuffle with Ponder. So he can play City of Traders, he can cast Show and Tell, and he can hope for the best. He does have a Force of Will to protect himself. The problem here is, does he think he can beat 2 permission spells? Can he beat Daze plus Force? You know, can he beat Daze plus Daze? You know, that's something he has to think about. And right now, with that Delver and that Deathrite Shaman pressuring him, he doesn't have a lot of time to think about it. You know, does he have 3 more turns to play? You know, he's kind of got to do the math right now about, am I supposed to go for it right now, or can I afford to wait a single turn?
Yeah, and I think the answer is go for it now. He has enough going on that, you know, he can play his land, he can play the City of Traders, play the Show and Tell. He's got a mana up to jump through hoops to play around Daze if he wants to. He has a Force of Will, and then he has a Flusterstorm. Obviously, if he plays the Flusterstorm, he's no longer playing around Daze. But the point is he can he can slog his way through 2 permission spells here. And I think waiting longer is kind of asking for it.
Well, he's going to lose. Actually, he's not going to lose any more life. We're going to see Kevin actually gain some life here with the Deathrite Shaman. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I kind of want to snag that Ponder. His life total being high doesn't really matter in this matchup. It's actually more about getting Patrick dead. So instead of Patrick going from 8-6, Kevin goes up from 22 to 24.
Well, and if Patrick were to Sneak and Show in a Gristlebrand, you want Patrick as low as possible so you can potentially finish off the game with the Deathrite Shaman without having to try to attack through a giant lifelinker.
Well, here comes Show and Tell. And if Kevin is reading that card, maybe he's not that aware. But he's going to play a Force of Will, removing Delver of Secrets. We are going to have a little bit of a permission war here, folks, because Patrick needs this to resolve. So, spells on the stack. You're sitting up in your chair here in your bingo board.
I don't even know what's on my board here. I have a question about these bingo boards.
Okay, do tell.
Why didn't I have any say in what went on here?
Yeah, that's not really how that works. That's not really how that works. Nick is going to take care of that for you, old Nick Miller. Looks like we got a Spell Pierce here off of the Lotus Petal. Kevin is going to fight back again. He's got a Brainstorm in response. That's fine.
Yeah.
Draw as many cards as you would like. Peel 3, put 2 back. A Delver, a land, and a Tarmogoyf here for Kevin. He's going to have to put 2 cards back. I don't think he has another permission spell. And if Show and Tell resolves against the Sultai Delver deck, Craig,
that's it.
No muss, no fuss.
That'll do it.
Yeah, we're about all done there. Emrakul or Gristlebrand, pick your fancy. It doesn't really matter. One of these big threats will get the job done. Patrick's just hoping.
Patrick, the consummate professional with
right?
the stack there.
He's just hoping it'll resolve. Now, I think I have like stack of a storm count of 9. We're not there.
We're so close.
We're not there. Okay, we're not quite there.
All right, Kevin.
Don't think I'm going to have anything. Show and Tell.
Oh, no, Kevin.
Voila. A Tombstalker. Pretty big. Big flyer. Big flyer is Tombstalker. Is that on your bingo board? Delve 5 or more cards. Oh, that's tough. Delve 5 or more cards on your bingo board. That's tough. That's tough.
No, that's not the way Tombstalker gets on the board.
Kevin taking a look at Emrakul. the Aeon's torn. I suppose we'll take a look as well.
There's a little text on this bad boy.
There's a lot to learn about that big flying Eldrazi. If that's a card that you're reading, I don't think you're going to like what you see. So if you're unfamiliar at home, we will let you take a look at Emrakul in just a moment here. But right now, for those of you who are aficionados of Legacy, you know that Patrick Sullivan is in the old driver's seat right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, the other side of the board is just a speed bump.
Yeah, most of those permanents. Yeah. They're going to go to the graveyard because of Emrakul's Annihilator 6. It's also got flying, protection from colored spells. When it goes to the graveyard from anywhere, you shuffle it back in. When you cast Emrakul, you hard cast it, of course. You take an extra turn after this one. So it's unfortunate that our Sneak and Show player did not get to take an extra turn. But Kevin knows that he is dead, so he's going to concede the game. Oh, no, you seem frustrated. Did you miss something?
Well, I think Kevin, I'm not 100% sure here. I think he could have deployed either a land and a creature or 2 more creatures.
Okay.
And he actually puts Patrick in this kind of an awkward spot. Sure, Patrick's going to attack him for 15, annihilate a bunch of his board.
Yep.
But a Deathrite Shaman activation would bring Patrick to 6.
Yep.
And then, you know, after you sacrifice 6 things, if you can leave behind...
Just 2 creatures, like Tombstalker plus?
Yeah, Tombstalker and any other creature. Patrick is in the spot where he might just be dead.
That's true. That's true. Didn't have a great look at Kevin's hand, but he does concede the game. So Patrick Sullivan with Sneak and Show, not Burn. Sneak and Show.
Was there a Arabian Nights Mountain in there?
Not on the battlefield.
Not on the battlefield?
Not on the battlefield. We did not see that. Patrick Sullivan's going to win game number 1 here over Kevin Baier. Sneak and Show up a game over Sultai Delver. Chad Kastel wins game number 1 over Aubrey Richardson. That's Obzon up a game over Eldrazi Tron. And then Robert Vaughan in the Teamer Energy Mirror against Zach Egner. He is up a game as well. So Sullivan, Kastel, and Vaughan off to a great start. I think we'll take some time to go to the sideboards here if we can and see exactly what's going on with Sneak and Show and Sultai Delver. Craig, I'm going to start with Sultai Delver, who's got 2 Diabolic Edict, 2 Golgari Charm, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Thoughtseize, a Grafdigger's Cage, and Invasive Surgery. That counters a sorcery. A Jace the Mind Sculptor, a Toxic Deluge, and Umezawa's Jite.
Yeah, I like this sideboard. He has a lot going on for this matchup. So, you know, the Spell Pierces, Surgical Extractions, the Thoughtseizes, the Invasive Surgery, all these cards are going to be very good. They're super efficient. You know, you want the 1-cost spells when you're fighting counter wars here. You can attack him from several different angles. Thoughtseize to go after his hand, some counter spells, the Surgical Extraction to potentially remove one of his key cards from the graveyard. I like a lot of these cards.
Get those cards like Abrupt Decay out of here.
Yeah, there's probably some Fatal Pushes in this deck that he doesn't want in there.
Yeah. Get some real stuff in here. That's what Kevin has the opportunity to do. We'll take a look at the sideboard still, and we'll take a look at Patrick's sideboard. And he's got 4 Leyline of Sanctity, 3 Pyroclasm, 2 Blood Moon, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Through the Breach, a Wipe Away, and Omniscience to put in play with Show and Tell. So let's talk to me about this one. Maybe Leyline?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure he wants Leyline, but it's very possible he could come in this matchup. A couple of these other cards are interesting because it's almost transitional. Bringing in a couple of Pyroclasms, the 3 Pyroclasms and the Blood Moons, actually gives Patrick this other secondary freebie win. You know, if he's able to resolve Blood Moon, many of these Delver decks can't cast spells for the rest of the game.
Yeah, Blood Moon can be lights out.
And so if you have Blood Moon plus a Pyroclasm, which is basically a Wrath of God, you know, you're like, Blood Moon, you can't cast any more spells. Pyroclasm, I get rid of the creatures you have on the board. By default, I've just won that game.
Yeah, that'll take care of things. That's kind of like a 1-2 like weird combo punch, but this is a deck that has Preordain, Ponder, Brainstorm. It can find those cards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that difficult to do. So we'll see exactly what option Patrick elects to go for. Same thing can be said for Kevin, who's on the play. In the meantime, let's talk weekly sale, folks.
I love
Let's talk weekly sale. Let's talk about Eternal and Modern Master singles, shall we? It's going to end Monday at 10:59 a.m. Go.starcitygames.com/weekly sale for more information. Now, Craig, I know that the old wife is watching.
Oh, yeah.
So if you'd like to talk to her right now about our weekly sale and anything that you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we already had a conversation before I rolled down here.
Okay,
so she knows that a lot of my premium cards I'm looking to upgrade with, you know, a little foil action, maybe foreign foil cards.
I like that. I like that.
So I'm going to see what she comes up with. We just so happen to have an anniversary coming up at the end of the month.
That should make things pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
Everything kind of a little bit cheaper home over there, Jasmine.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'll get this foil Ayavugan, spice up my modern deck a little bit.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough. Go.starcitygames.com/weekly sale for more information. How you can save on select Eternal and Modern Master singles. So we're gonna go back down to the match. Sullivan and Baier. should be underway here in game number 2. I believe players are taking a look at their opening hand. You can see Vaughan and Egner playing a little bit of game number 2. These players taking a look at their opening hand. Sullivan looks like he's going to take a mulligan, so he will go down to at least 6 cards here. But one thing about Legacy, with these brainstorms, these ponders, these preordains, all of that stuff, decks mulligan pretty well.
Sure.
Right? It's not the end of the world. You can go down to 6 cards, sometimes even 5 cards and be all right.
Yeah, there's lots of card selection in the deck, so you get to just look at so many cards throughout the game, and you only need a few specific cards in order to execute your plan. You know, a deck like Storm, it needs a mass of cards.
Yes.
You know, it's hard to mulligan to 5 with Storm and have a good shot.
A deck you're familiar with.
Yes.
You've played plenty of Storm in Legacy.
This, you know, if he has a couple of lands, he just needs, you know, show and tell and a fatty. He's good to go.
Well, he's found a hand here with 1 land in Scalding Tarn, a Pyroclasm, a Show and Tell, a Fatty, as you mentioned, an Emrakul once again. I think there's a Brainstorm over there too. So he's found a hand that's keepable. Scry to the top does Patrick, and we are underway here in game number 2. Kevin's going to start things off with a Polluted Delta. He's going to go down to 19. Remember, this is not Modern, folks. No 17 here, unless you're playing a weird Death Shadow deck like Justin Parnell has before.
We've seen it.
Yeah, it can happen, I suppose. You can search for Water Grave and get your Death Shadows and all that stuff online, but more traditional start here for Sultai Delver. It's a Polluted Delta for an Underground Sea, blue and black mana online, and it is, of course, the very problematic Deathrite Shaman. We will go over to Sullivan. He will play a Scalding Tarn very quickly. He will pass it. He will not sacrifice that. The old, is somebody hoping for a Stifle here, Craigers?
No, Mountain Time. I'm looking for a basic
mountain.
Mountain.
You want the ooh, that's true. He could search for the basic mountain right now.
It's never going to happen.
This is a Hymn to Torak, very powerful magic card. Target player discards 2 cards at random. This will not be reprinted in Standard. This will not come back.
You don't think so?
I have a feeling this will not come back, yes.
That's not a good play experience for most people?
Not great. This here is Force of Will removing Brainstorm, and Kevin would like to play back.
Oh, man, he has everything.
I believe that is a Daze from Kevin.
No, and yeah, Patrick's fetch probably is not resolving here.
It looks like it is. Patrick is going to pay the 1 for the Daze. Does Kevin have another Daze, perhaps? He has a Force of Will and a Delver.
He does have another Daze.
And another Daze,
okay.
It looks like. Okay.
I thought he was working with a Stifle over there, but clearly not.
So this Daze will be, and wow, the Hymn is going to be countered too. This is a little bit surprising.
Well, yeah, I would think once Patrick mulligans, and then he fights a battle using a Force of Will, getting this Hymn to Torak to resolve is a big priority.
It's very attractive,
yes.
I would think. So I'm a little bit surprised to see this be the case here from Kevin, where I believe he does have another copy of Daze in his hand, and he's electing not to cast it. However, oddly enough, this does look a little bit strange as he's going to search up another Underground Sea with that fetch land. Going to fall down to 18 doing so. He's going to play a Delver of Secrets, and this Daze that he's presumably has in his hand is going to counter this Pyroclasm.
Yeah.
So it does look a little wonky as Lotus Petal is the draw for Patrick.
Oh, no.
Patrick will play Lotus Petal. That'll resolve. He's going to play a land. I think he might try to Show and Tell here. Yep. This is...
It all worked out.
It all worked out for Kevin. This is like the best of all worlds here, where he is holding a Daze. He's going to Daze the Show and Tell. Patrick's probably thinking, why didn't you Daze in the fight over the Hymn? But it all works out, and so now we're going to go back over to Kevin, reveal, and it's a Brainstorm.
Sure, yeah, and Kevin got a Lotus out of the deal as a little kicker there.
Yes, he did.
Lotus Petal.
So Delver Secrets will transform into Insectile Aberration. That Underground Sea is going to come back on the battlefield, and it'll be an attack here for 3. Sullivan's going to fall down to 15. And Kevin will simply pass the turn back. So over to Patrick we go. He will draw a card. It's a copy of Ponder. He's got Ponder, he's got Emrakul, and he's got Pyroclasm in hand. Does our sneak and show player. Here is Pyroclasm.
Yeah, I like just casting the Pyroclasm here. After your opponent has already dazed you twice, like the chances of him having another one are so thin. And if you're able to sweep up these 2 creatures, the game is going to take a long time. You know, you're just buying so much time if this resolves. And this is your best chance to resolve it. It's right here.
So here is Pyroclasm. We will see if this does resolve.
And I think from Kevin's side, he needs to shorten the game as much as possible, so he needs to counter this Pyroclasm.
That I agree with. He wants to keep these creatures on the battlefield, and because he's got Force of Will plus blue card in Brainstorm in hand, so you know you counter the Pyroclasm, and hopefully you can cross the finish line before everything gets set up. Now he's going to cast a Brainstorm.
A little greedy here.
I feel like this is a touch greedy, as he's going to draw 3 cards. 3 lands.
Oh, that's a dagger.
Yep. He's going to have to put 2 of those cards back, and more importantly, he's going to need He'll draw a fetch or have a fetch, so you
Yeah.
can do a little bit of shuffling away and make it a pretty good brainstorm. But a little bit greedy there from Kevin. He had Force of Will plus brainstorm. Could have used that to counter the Pyroclasm, elected not to, and now there go the creatures. So Pyroclasm will resolve. Kevin's going to draw a land. He'll play a Verdant Catacombs, pass the turn back. We'll probably see him fetch at the end of Patrick's turn. In the meantime, Sullivan will draw a Ancient Tomb. He will play a Ponder. No. Play Tomb first. Now Ponder. This allows him to play around Spell Pierce.
Yep.
So here is Ponder. Sneak Attack. Volcanic Island. Scalding Tarn.
Yeah, and this is a real good one for him.
He will keep it. He will draw a land. Leave Sneak Attack on top of the deck to fade any discard spells.
Yep. And the funny thing about Sneak Attack as a card, if you're trying to play Sneak Attack and then activate in the same turn, you're by default playing around other dazes.
Yes, yes, very much so.
You know, it's funny that that card has its own built-in protections for daze.
Yep. It's like kind of a different angle to the deck.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, given the name of the deck, Sneak and Show, it's kind of funny. Sneak Attack is actually the first part of the deck. Show and Tell, the second part of the deck. A lot of people look at this as a Show and Tell deck, but more often than not, it's actually kind of just a Sneak Attack deck.
Yeah.
That's what you see happen a lot. Is here's another copy of Brainstorm. So Kevin, going to draw 3 cards. Spell Pierce, Deathrite Shaman, Tarmogoyf. That's a little bit better here for a Sultai Delver player.
Yeah, that's a good mix of cards.
He'll be putting 2 cards back here momentarily. Remember, he does have a Forcible in hand. Ideally, he will pair that up with Spell Pierce. That'll be his protection.
Yep.
Just got to figure out what cards he wants to put back.
Yeah, I like putting a land back here and, you know, one of the threats back.
I think I would just let Deathrite Shaman go. It's just kind of a slow clock right now.
Sure.
Here's a sacking of the fetch land. Blue Delta will go to the graveyard. A little bit of life lost here for Kevin, but it is a perfect brainstorm, as they say, as there is a Bayou.
And this Goyf is going to be fairly sizable.
Pretty big Tarmogoyf, pretty big Tarmogoyf.
Instant sorcery, creature, land, artifact.
Yeah, we'll get one of our Tarmogoyf dice on the battlefield. Is there something you'd like to say here?
Oh yeah, oh, it's stamping time.
Okay, we have our first stamp on the bingo board here, folks. I am now behind.
Kaboom!
As we have a player with a 5/6 Tarmogoyf or bigger. Thanks a lot, Nick Miller.
That just happened.
Here is a Sneak Attack. And this is a Force of Will, moving Spell Pierce to counter Sneak Attack. So Craig is on the board. There is Tarmogoyf. The Lurgoyf is a 5/6 here. So if you are on hashtag Team Craig,
Bigger.
6/7.
7 enchantment time.
Yes, you are winning the bingo game as here comes Tarmogoyf.
One step closer to your complimentary box of Iconic Masters from StarCityGames.com. That is not actually happening. I feel the need to specify that.
Patrick is going to go down, looks like, to 6 in the face of a 6/7 Tarmogoyf. A little risky business. A little risque.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the same time, right, where...
Oh, he looked at it.
The Basic Mountain?
Yeah.
Do not get that. Do not get that Arabian Nights Mountain.
This is my only chance.
Yes.
Oh,
there you go. Get that island. That's smart. Island better than a mountain right now. He's got plenty of red mana, so there's no reason to get the mountain. Pretty obvious. That's kind of fortunate. Sullivan will draw a card. He's got some outs here. He's picked up a Ponder. Redraws. Daddy's looking for a Show and Tell. That's a Brainstorm. A Sneak Attack's not going to do it. A Volcanic Island will not do it.
Oh, he's so close.
He is close. He could play Sneak Attack. I do not believe he has played a land yet for the turn. So if he has a land in his hand, I know he's got Emrakul, he would take Sneak Attack.
Yeah, I mean, he needs more cards than he's allowed to take here.
Yeah, and he's just got to shuffle.
He needs the land and the Sneak Attack in order to deploy that Emrakul and clean up the opponent's side of the board.
Well, we're going to find out right now. It's all about finding Show and Tell or redraw for Show and Tell. That could be Brainstorm, it could be Ponder, it can be Preordained. Mystery card coming here for Sullivan. Keep that Ancient Tomb on the battlefield. Put that Ponder over there. Draw a card. Brainstorm. Let's do it again.
Doing it again.
Top 3.
Spin that wheel.
Emrakul, Flooded Strand. That is not going to. That is not going to do it. So Kevin Baier's going to win game number 2 here over Patrick Sullivan. They're all tied up 1-1 as Saltai Delver and Sneak and Show going to get ready here for game number 3. You will see in the middle, Kastel on your right, Richardson on your left. Those players are done because the Obzon master, Chad Kastel, he has won his match over Eldrazi-tron. Don't tell me E-Tron is a bad matchup for Obzon.
That is a rough matchup for Obzon.
It should be, but Chad didn't just win. He got the broom out, 2-0. So Sullivan, Kastel, and Vaughan, they are currently up a match as Vaughan is working his way through his game with Zach Egner. They are in a teamer mirror. Again, we're going to take a look at the sideboards here right now for Sullivan and Baier. We'll take a look at Sullivan's again. We know Pyroclasm's in.
Yep.
You had some strong thoughts on Blood Moon as well. Any need for anything like Through the Breach or Leyline of Sanctity after that sideboard game? Anything change for you?
No, I think this is a matter of assembling the pieces that he wants with some counterspell backup and just making it work.
Some more cantrips, being able to basically just, if he can resolve his big spell, that's all he's got to do, right?
Yep.
That's what it's all about. Okay. On the other side of things for Kevin, obviously he's got Diabolic Edict, good card in the matchup, Spell Pierce. Not going to surprise you to see that come in. Maybe even Toxic Deluge, Thoughtseize. You said you liked a lot of cards here.
Yeah.
You liked a lot of stuff.
I can see the Surgical Extractions coming in. You know, the Invasive Surgery is probably fine in this matchup. You know, you just pick off a Ponder if you need to, but certainly getting a Show and Tell is very good. The Diabolic Edict is kind of an interesting one because if they deploy an Emrakul, it's a 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
This is just spectacular. But if they deploy a Gristlebrand, it's like, hey, I'm just delaying the inevitable.
Sure,
like you need to have your clock already on the board and have their life total threatened in order for Edict to be an actual card there. Because if they resolve Gristlebrand before you're really on the board, and you're like, Edict you, they're like, yeah, I'll pay 14 life, draw 14 cards.
Be able to kill you next turn or
and
something.
I'm just going to be on the board with the same presence again, and like you just spend a whole turn and 2 mana, which is huge in Legacy, casting a Diabolic Edict.
Well, looks like our players are underway there in Baier and Sullivan, so we're going to head on back down to that match right now. And they are underway, so.
We'll get there.
Yeah, Delver's Secret's on Kevin's side to start things. We'll get zoomed in a little bit here for you. Looks like Patrick's going to do a little bit of fetching, get himself a basic island. No basic mountain yet for you, Craig. Sorry about that.
This is going to be a bumpy ride for that square.
That might be tough. That might be tough.
You think?
That might be tough. This was kind of your one shot, actually. maybe kind of your one shot.
No, I mean, this team can keep doing well. We'll probably get them on camera again as the event goes on, as long as they keep winning or start winning. Yeah, we're still early here. But, you know, like I'll have more shots, I hope. Am I just lying to myself here?
Yeah, kinda. Brainstorm here from Sullivan. He's going to draw 3, put 2 back. We will probably see a fetch as well. You can see his hand right now. 2 more copies of Lotus Petal. Blood Moon is within the cards he is brainstorming with. He looks like he's going to put one of those back. He's also got a sneak attack there. So there's no guarantee that he's going to shuffle. He's got some good cards here.
Sure. And he's protecting those cards by leaving them on top of the library.
A bunch of Lotus Petals here from Patrick.
And never mind about protecting those cards.
Interesting.
He says, I don't need those. I'm just going for it now.
Does he have a Knucklehead in hand?
Yeah, I believe that he's got Show and Tell with Fatty and a Flusterstorm backup here.
I've seen worse hands.
And all the mana to cast all of this.
I have seen worse hands.
And this is awesome. If this doesn't work out,
it's just, I don't know, kind of dead.
Yeah, he's just committed his entire hand to this turn.
All right, Show and Tell, let's go. Force of Will, removing Delver of Secrets. Down to 19 goes our Saltai Delver player, Kevin Baier. Flusterstorm, how's that? Almost a storm count of 9, right? Hold on.
Oh, jeez.
There was a brain.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're at 7 right now.
We're at 7. No, 2 petals.
Oh no, yeah, 1 petal was already on the board.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 petals, Brainstorm, Show and Tell, Force of Will, Flusterstorm.
6. Storm count of 9. Anything?
6.
Can I get a little help here?
6. I hope you can't get help
Can
here.
you get a little help here for the bingo board? What are we even talking about? Kevin, you have another counterspell? You're gonna need it.
Yeah.
You're gonna need it, my friend.
Yeah, he's just make sure all those Fluster Storm triggers have gone on the stack. He doesn't want to put another another counter spell on here and then have the Storm triggers be able to go after it.
Was there a spell cast in the draw step? No, that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Nice board.
Yeah, Nick's gonna get it later today. Vehicle gets crewed. What are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? Show and Tell's gonna resolve? Oh boy!
I'm so confused.
I thought he had another Force of Will in his hand. He does have. Oh boy, I don't understand. I don't understand. He has another Force of Will and a blue card in his hand. I do not understand. As Kevin's going to sacrifice a Misty Rainforest. I think that he was confused about Flusterstorm and the fact that you cannot counter them all, which means that Kevin may not be a veteran of Legacy like we may have thought.
Sure, yeah.
Because all you do there is you Force of Will the Show and Tell again.
Listen, if you have not played much Legacy before, it's a deep pool to just jump into.
That is very true.
You get over your head real fast.
That is very true. And, you know, with respect to Kevin, he might just be a little in over his head here. Some of the plays have been a little questionable, but that's probably just a lacking of playing the format very much.
Sure, yeah.
That's all that is.
I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah. Delver Secrets might transform. That's cool. Oh boy, look at that. Now it's a 3-2. Well.
Oh, a 3-2 and gets to go after the opponent's hand.
It sure does. Yes, he can him now. And then what's going to happen? This is a Ponder. Top couple of cards, another him, a Tarmogoyf, and a Underground Sea. Those are not going to be helpful. I would select Shuffle.
Yeah, Shuffle sounds good.
I would select Shuffle. Kevin will shuffle. Now, if this were Magic Online, he would draw the top card anyway, even though he shuffled.
That's what always happens.
That is correct. Shuffle with Ponder. I thought I clicked Shuffle. I'm pretty sure I clicked Shuffle.
No, let's not go down the Magic Online rabbit hole.
Not in round one? You want to save it till round 3?
Oh, man, we'll get lost down there.
You want to save it for round 3? Okay.
It's too deep.
It's a great rabbit hole.
No, it's
a Bayou.
It's dark.
It's a Bayou. It's a nice card. Green-black land. I would not cast him to Torak. All right, pass the turn back. Patrick will draw. How many cards this turn is the question. Let's make it 8.
Bang.
Let's make it 8. 7 on the way from old Grizzlebrand.
I think it's going to be more than that.
You think it might be 16, maybe more? Maybe 15, maybe 16. We could go real deep in the tank. Draw his first turn. It's an Ancient Tomb. Draw a bunch more cards. City of Traders, Show and Tell. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is going to be over here momentarily. I can promise you that.
Oh, that's a mountain.
Do not. Hold on. What's it say on your board? What does it say on your board? How do we feel about this? What's the judge's ruling here? Arabian Nights Mountain. Wait, is that Arabian Nights? That's an Arabian Nights Mountain, right?
I have no idea.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's not an Arabian Nights Mountain.
That looks like a very original mountain.
I'm pretty sure that's not an Arabian Nights Mountain.
I'm just drawing dead to this.
Sorry about that, Whammy.
That's probably a beta mountain.
I'm almost positive that's a beta mountain. As here comes Grizzlebrand. You thought you were going to get a little free square there, huh?
So I was actually just drawing dead the whole time.
The whole time. Ooh, this tastes good. This is nice.
Yeah, at least you aren't.
What?
You're
what?
Taking this situation with much aplomb.
Like you
usually do.
Yes. Here is Force of Will on Show and Tell.
Consummate professional.
Always in the booth. Always.
We're a little late with this Force of Will.
I'm inclined to agree with you. The problem is already on the battlefield. Patrick's going to draw even more cards. He's going to fall back down to 11. Of course, he drew 7, went from 8 to an 11. Attack with Grizzlebrand, gain 7 life. Now he'll draw 7 more, stack up his hand. We'll see if this Show and Tell will resolve. Sullivan has a Flusterstorm, it looks like. So Flusterstorm is going to take care of Force of Will. A lot of copies. We've seen this before, so that'll take care of that. Now Show and Tell does resolve. This will resolve. Let's see what each player is going to bring to class. Okay. An Emrakul, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Discard step, a little cleanup.
Yeah.
Little cleanup here.
Patrick considering attacking for 22 next turn, a famous song by old Taylor Swift.
Attack for 22?
Yeah, he'd like to attack for 22. Patrick actually just showed the mountain to the camera for you to let you know that it is beta and not Arabian Nights. Just giving you a taste of your own medicine. Longtime friends, Patrick and Craig are.
How does that my own medicine?
I'm not sure.
I would never do that to someone else.
I'm not sure. Considering attacking for 22 next turn, look what you made me do.
Is that another T-Swift song?
Are you ready for it? Patrick Sullivan, Chad Kastel, and Robert Vaughan are going to win this match over Kevin Baier, Aubrey Richardson, and Zach Egner, as in the team format. Once you win 2 matches of the 3, you don't have to finish. So I'm sure that Chad will probably tap Rob and say, hey, buddy, we won. But maybe Rob wants to keep playing. Who knows?
Yeah, little pride fights.
Yeah, no need for the sideboard here anymore, as these players will, continue play. It looks like. What is Rob doing? What is Rob doing?